of the day?
Okay, this was a hard one because there's been a plethora of plumes all day long, but this was Lace Ribeiro. Now, she gets double points because she wore this gorgeous emerald green. It was almost the color of the track, and she wore it with this brown suit. I love the odd color combinations, and she is indeed a supermodel.
A supermodel who was just made for that glam camp.
Without doubt.
We also saw some unique looks today, for sure.
Neil Patrick Harris and Davey, thank you so much for bringing the art to the carpet. They looked so great in these painterly matching his and his suits. I absolutely love them.
They were having fun with it too.
They had so much fun. They often dress in the same looks, and that was bang on. Fit for the Met Gala, I'd say,
yes,
that one.
It was perfect. Speaking of,
Ready
Met
for
Gala
Monday.
coming up soon. Mike, you were in the running for Best Dress, but because you're hosting this whole thing, you got to qualify.
Okay,
disqualified.
That's
Sorry about
enough.
that.
Don't do that to me, Dylan. Come on, please. Easy. Great stuff, ladies. Thank you. That's the first win of the John Harbaugh era, with Jackson Dart getting the award from Zana for the best dressed guy here. So there you go, Giants fans. It bodes well. As we move now closer to the Derby, the next race here at Churchill, Commandment's so happy at the top, as they have been co-favorites at 5-1, couple at 6-1. Chief Wallaby, an emerging market. So where do you get the intel for the Derby? The prep races. And the Florida Derby continues year in, year out to be one of the best prep races. Multiple horses who we saw there have a chance here, including two that we're going to keep our eye on here.
Yeah, this was the deepest of all the prep races, right? Even though we lost the Puma this morning,
right.
Obviously with Commandment right now the favorite, this is still huge. So what about Commandment?
Now, the top prep race, if you will, in the state here is at Keeneland. It's the Bluegrass. And Further Ado coming out of there has everyone else's eye as well.
He wasn't even supposed to make the Bluegrass. 3 months ago, Brad Cox didn't even think he would make the Kentucky Derby after an illness and a weight loss. But after a Tampa Bay Derby win, yes, Brad Cox worked him a few times and thought, I don't know, I'll give it a shot. I don't know what to expect. Look at this. This is a performance of a lifetime. Not only did he run well, he ran off the TV screen almost, wins by 11 lengths. So he comes into the Kentucky Derby with the fastest times, the highest speed ratings, and the question is, Mike, was that his Kentucky Derby? Did he run too well a month ago in Keeneland?
Did he peak too soon?
Right.
That's the question. Irad Ortiz was the jockey there. We showed you the jockey shuffle with the cards before. With Irad there, he chose Renegade for the Derby, so John Velasquez is going to be the one who gets the chance with Further Ado, and he's standing by with Ahmed.
Yeah, Mike, it was a game of jockey musical chairs here with the three-time Derby winner, Johnny V. So when you found that out, that the ride for Further Ado was falling to you, what came to mind?
Well, I mean, to the story is that it happened before the decision was made. I was basically waiting for Irad to make a decision. I had talked to the Spendthrift people, so I was waiting for Irad to make a decision. So I knew before it happened. Yeah.
What do you think about him?
Well, I like everything he's done so far. Though. Hopefully, we can do something like that, and just like he ran last time in the Bluegrass.
Last year was the first time in 19 years that you were not riding in the Derby. What was that like for you?
It was a big missing part of not riding the race, but that's part of racing. The horse had to be scratched, and so things happen. Basically, trying to do it this year, and hopefully we end up winning the race.
Johnny, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Let's get it to Kenny.
All right, thank you, Ahmed. Young Wei Koo at one time was an all-pro kicker, but on his worst possible day, it turned out to be a lifesaver for Mark Toothaker of Frankfort, Kentucky. He was watching that TV game on Monday night between the Giants and the Patriots when Koo's attempt at a field goal turned into a comedy of errors, and Toothaker laughed so hard he actually had a seizure. His wife, Mallory, is a nurse. She realized we have urgency here. She got him to the hospital, they got him in surgery, and they removed a tennis ball-sized tumor from the left side of his brain. Thankfully, it turned out to be benign. Toothaker told me he travels extensively as one of the managers of Spendthrift Farm, that he's on the road all the time. This could have happened at any time. He's so thankful, though, that he was at home. His wife acted quickly, and he's still alive. And he gives thanks to Koo for that, because he has mixed emotions as well. Koo's misfortune was so fortunate that it turned out the way it did for Toothaker. He's invited him to come to the races. He's invited him to come to the farm. He hasn't heard back yet. But Toothaker feels that he is on a roll of good luck, so he bet in the futures book $400 at 25-1 on Spendthrift's Further Ado. If that comes in, wouldn't that be a kick, Mike?
Wow, some story. That was one of the low points of Young Wei Koo's football life. He only kicked one more game after that because he was struggling, but in some ways take solace in the fact that he helped save somebody's life in many regards. The Garland of Roses has arrived. The trophy awaits. The Derby's getting closer. We're about an hour away.
App of the Kentucky Derby, and you can get your bet back if your horse comes in second or third all day long on every eligible race at Churchill Downs, and all you have to do is opt in.
Back at Churchill Downs, close eye on the odds about an hour before the Derby. Renegade and Commandment, as they have since we joined you a few hours ago, remain the co-favorites, and one of the three choices at 6-1, the horse called So Happy, trained by 53-year-old Mark Glatt. His career dates back over 3 decades, and today he's in his very first Kentucky Derby. Typically, it's a day most would count among the best in their lives, but for Glatt, the emotions are far different.
Being in Kentucky, I think it's bittersweet, quite honestly. Yeah, let's get a little longer gallop into him today, okay? I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can, but there's just no way it's going to be the same. Okay, we're headed out. I wish she was here with me. I think that's the best way I can put it.
There's an irony to Mark Glatt's first trip to the Kentucky Derby. He's here with a horse named So Happy, but he's heartbroken, having lost his wife Dina less than 3 months ago.
She was just a very loving person, you know, and she treated everyone with grace. She truly was my partner. She was at the races most every day, supporting me, and I really feel like my career has gotten to where it was because of her love and support.
And they're off in the Santa Anita Derby. So Happy in the 3-path, and Intrepido will now come.
Neither Dina or I had ever been to a Kentucky Derby. You know, we talked about how, you know, well, I'm never going to the Derby until I take a horse.
They're in the final furlong. So Happy on the outside.
And she said, I agree.
It's So Happy pulling away to win the Santa Anita Derby.
It is So Happy. Trainer Mark Glatt. They are going to Churchill Downs.
I don't know if I can describe it. It's the biggest win of my life. And I know my wife had a big part of this today. She's here. You know, she's here, and I thank her very much. And I love her.
Every day in Kentucky has been a challenge for Glatt, but he's moving forward with the support of his 3 children and some close friends. And while this isn't how he envisioned his first Derby, he knows Dina is still right there with him, along for this ride.
I think about her all the time. You know, I feel like she's by my side. I hope she's an angel on my shoulder. Maybe that's how we've gotten to the Derby.
And the memories are very present for Mark in his mind, and what you can see as well. He's wearing a bracelet with Dina's ashes in it. Amid all the emotions, he has said winning the Derby would be, other than his kids being born, the biggest thrill of his life. A story that has made Mark Glatt and So Happy a fan favorite as we lead into this Derby. And guys, the 3 of us were back early Thursday morning, back by the barns, chance to visit with Mark Glatt. We talked about his Seattle Seahawks, always wearing that Seahawk logo, wants to show his pride for his roots in the Northwest, and had good things to say about his horse as well. That's when he was so happy.
He got a little emotional with us, and then when the topic switched to the horse, you could see his demeanor change. He's really confident and So Happy for this race. The only real concern that any of the handicappers have is his pedigree. He's by a sprint sire in Run Happy, so how far can he run has been the question all the way up the ladder. Now here we are in 1.25 miles. But, Jerry, a lot of his success at longer distances has to do with the way Mike Smith has been riding him.
Yeah, it's almost 60 years old. He's very crafty at this, and you're not going to win a tug of war with a horse. And Mike realizes that you have to finesse them. And the best way to do that and get them to relax is drop your hands instead of up on their neck where they feel like they should go, way back by his saddle. Look how far back Mike Smith's hands are. Just a long looping hold, and the horse got into a rhythm. He relaxed, and look at how he finishes. Better than he had previously, which gives you the idea that maybe a 1.25 miles is still possible, but it would be a stretch.
When horses relax, they conserve their energy, and that's so important for him because he's not bred to run 1.25 miles.
It's like marathoners, Mike. Long, slow, and steady.
You can see it physically with that. Mike Smith doing the piloting, a pretty special guy to do it. Steve Kornacki has more on Mike attempting to make some history with So Happy here today.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. When those starting gates fly open less than an hour from now and So Happy bursts forth, then at the age of 59 years, 8 months, and 22 days, Mike Smith will become the oldest rider ever to compete in the Kentucky Derby. Big money Mike, they call him, and he's won just about everything there is to win in this sport. That includes the Triple Crown back in 2018. But let's be honest, Mike Smith is not here looking for some participation trophy today. This is what he is after. It was 40 years ago this weekend that Bill Shoemaker dove to the rail on Ferdinand, won the Kentucky Derby, became the oldest jockey ever to win it. Now, John Velazquez is on further ado. He's in this race today, and right now he's actually a little bit younger than Shoemaker was then. He'd be the second oldest if he wins, but Smith is pushing 60. He would shatter the record, and when we're talking about Mike Smith, what we're really talking about is a level of elite longevity that in any other sport would be unimaginable. He's been doing this for over 40 years. This was the headline from Omaha, May 3rd, 1984, the local track, Exarban. What was that? That was Nebraska, spelled backwards. An up-and-coming rider got the big call. Mike Smith. Shug McGahee, the trainer, said, "Would you ride my horse in the Kentucky Derby?" It was the first Derby that Mike Smith ever rode in. I got the program right here. How long ago was this? Cigarette ad on the back. It was almost completely tar-free. Well, anyway, Mike Smith outran his odds. 6th place that day, and today will be Derby number 29. And here's the ultimate measure for Mike Smith. Take a look at the article. Says he was 18 years old back then. He was actually 17. Back then, he had to fudge his age because he was too young to ride. Well, all these decades later, he finally came clean because now he's worried that people will think he's too old to ride. He wants the year back. Mike, we should all be so lucky to get to a point in our lives when we have that kind of a problem. It just means we've been that good, and Mike Smith has been for that long.
Amen to that. Great research there, Steve. Jerry, there's Mike in the jocks room. Maybe the prescription of the glass is a little bit different, but it's really that cross-section of the physical ability, staying in great shape, and the mental approach, too.
You know, Mike, back in the 90s, Mike had a racing accident and broke his back, and ever since then, the doctor told him, if you're going to survive in this sport, you have to work out and get your core strong. He has been a gym rat since then. You mix that in with the wisdom that he has and the knowledge how to read races once they unfold, it's kind of hard to beat.
He's not alone trying to make Derby history today. So is Bob Baffert. Here's Nick.
Yeah, Bob Baffert runs Potente. If he wins, he becomes the winningmost trainer of all time in the Kentucky Derby. And you can just see Potente. He's by far the most on the muscle of the horses I've seen so far. 2 handlers. He's rather like a coiled spring. He is a naturally exuberant horse. He finished second to So Happy in the Santa Anita Derby. But a picture tells 1,000 words there. Brittany.
This is where all the horses are corralled, and I must say, since I walked over with Renegade, one of the favorites for trainer Todd Pletcher from the barn, cool, calm, and collected. You can see he's really soaking it all in. Those ears are pricked forward, a very intelligent sort, and Todd Pletcher said that is key for a race like this. Of course, he's won it twice already. He said this horse has a very special place in his heart. He trained both the mother and the grandmother, so everything that you want to see from a horse that's about to go walk in front of 100,000 people plus, Mike.
And this is one of the cool parts of the Derby year. If you hope as a human connection to get a horse that's in the Derby, you look forward to this, the walkover with all the fans waiting. We'll take in that scene and share it with you when we come back to Louisville, Kentucky.
Trying to predict the future is a hazardous occupation. The only thing we can be sure of is that it will be absolutely fantastic. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough, the communication satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other wherever we may be. When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point.
explored the world together. We hunted together, farmed together, lived and died on the battlefields together. We wanted to be remembered together. And sure, in more modern times, we may not need horses the same way we used to, but the essence of what's always been there has endured. Our connection. It's timeless, and it's ageless. We still want ponies for our birthdays. We still want to ride at the fair. We draw pictures of them. We make toys out of them. We dream about adventures with them. Because above all, we still look at this creature, this magical, mystical miracle of a creature, and see possibility. After all this time, watching a horse do what it was born to do is still as beautiful as anything in the world. And this day, this glorious, thrilling, inspiring day, at the heart of it all, is still that original connection. Today, as much as any day before it, look into their eyes and still be mesmerized. Reckon with their power and their grace and still be astounded. Celebrate the heartbeat of this race and still believe in just how alive they can be. Welcome to the Kentucky Derby.
That horse-human connection. They can understand us. They can feel our heartbeat. They can feel our energy. They can feel our emotion. There's plenty of heartbeat and energy and emotion in the next hour as the next chapter of this century-long relationship with humans and horses is written at the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby on an unseasonably cool first Saturday in May 2026. Renegade and Commandment, the co-favorites most of this day, have been joined by So Happy, the horse you just saw the feature on. Chief Wallaby, further ado, right behind. And then Emerging Market completes the half dozen with odds of 10-1 or better, but anyone's got a chance. And there are so many stories representing the human connections walking over from the barns. Let's hear from some of them, starting with Nick Luck.
And let's start with a native Louisvillian, grew up a stone's throw from here. Brad Cox with two runners in the race, including Commandment number 6, who's right behind us. Just how big a moment is this for you, Brad?
It's huge. This is what we work for. Years of dedication, hard work, great help, great horses, great clients, and we're in a great position.
Commandment looks in good shape. Are you happy with them both, him and Further Ado?
Yeah, they've handled everything so far. They're, for 3-year-olds, they're fairly seasoned, running multiple tracks, big events before, so I think we're in great shape.
Which one do you think will run their best today?
I think we're going to get big efforts out of both. I really, really believe that. I think Further Ado could get the run of the race from the post, and Commandment's going to have to work out a trip from the 5-hole.
All right, Brad. All the very best.
Thank you.
Brittany?
Well, I'm with the ownership group of Renegade, and it is a big group here. We've got Robert and Luana Lowe and Mike Rapoli. Mike, you've made this walk before. You've made this walk with a favorite before, but how do the emotions feel different with this one?
It's a special day, and owning this horse with the Lowes is so special. They both bred the horse. Jake West, who works for both of us, has helped them, bred the horse. We bid on it, we bought it. I asked Jake to call Mr. and Mrs. Lowe, see if they'd be interested in partners, and success is best when shared.
Made the magic happen. I must talk to you, Robert. You have had 3 Kentucky Derby runners now, but this is a horse that you have bred and raised on your farm in Missouri. Can you describe just what that means and how special this is?
Oh, well, we aspire to be good breeders and, breeding one that makes the Derby, and own it. We're a big part of it. That's special.
How confident? Yeah?
We have confidence.
Okay. Let's get to Kenny.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Here's the reigning champ. Bill Motti comes in here with Chief Wallaby off a 3rd in the Florida Derby. You've got blinkers on him. How does everything look?
Everything's been going well with him. He's been training good, since he's been here in Kentucky, and I think the blinkers helped him focus a little bit.
What do you need today to get this victory?
Well, he's got to move forward a couple lengths. He's got to improve off his last race. Commandment beat us a couple times already, and we've just got to improve. But I think if he stays focused, and look, it's a tough race to win. they've got to have a great trip. They've got to have a smooth trip or you're not going to win the race.
You know, he is trying to become the first back-to-back trainer to win the Kentucky Derby since Bob Baffert did it in 97, 98. Bob, you're in here with Litmus Test and Potente. How do they both look?
I mean, they've been training well. I mean, Litmus Test, he's going to have to step it up. His last 2 races weren't up to par, but I'm hoping that he has back class. And Potente, we don't know how good he is. He's getting better and better, lightly raced horse. And so, but I've been watching his horse in the mornings. He looks pretty good. And you can tell by a trainer's demeanor, this is a face of confidence right there, okay? This is confidence, and I don't like to see that. But
good luck to both of you. I don't know. I think he might have made a prediction, Bob. I'm not sure. Let's go to Nick.
And just a minute ago, you heard from Bill Mott, last year's winning trainer. Here is his son, Riley Mott, who trains 2 in this race, including Incredible here, number 11, to be in the same Derby as your dad, Riley. What dreams are made of? How are you feeling now?
Emotional, obviously. Focused on the task at hand, of course, but this is certainly everything I've ever dreamed of, everything we wake up and, work long hours for, and I'm just really excited for the staff and our team and the ownership.
Good luck with both of them.
Thank you so much.
All right, Donna Brothers.
Making the walkover with Cherie DeVoe, who has the number 19 Golden Tempo in here. Cherie, this has been your whole life. Your father, your grandfather were trainers. You've got 2 brothers, a sister that are trainers. Do you feel like you're kind of making this walkover for your family?
All of them are here or watching, so yes, it is a huge privilege and honor.
Cherie, in a race that's 152 years old, it's pretty hard to make history. What would it mean to you to make history here today?
I mean, I don't know if I can conceptualize it at the moment, so if I do, I'll let you know. But you were the first woman jockey to win a Triple Crown race, right? So women like you are what made it easy for me. And by the way, my career started 22 years ago at Churchill, and I've always admired and respected you, and it is an honor that you get to do your last walk over with me.
Well, we're not going to make this about me. I'm hoping you become the first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Let's go to Brittany.
Donna, thank you so much. I'm with trainer Mark Glatt, who sends out so happy. Mark, your first Kentucky Derby. You've trained in this business for 3 decades. You have your family here, your daughter Madison, of course, your son Ryan. What's going through your head?
Well, it's just a thrill of a lifetime, and I never expected it to be like it is. It's truly amazing feeling.
You have said before that your wife Dina, who recently passed away, is the reason that you're here today. Her support and her love. What do you think she would say to you?
She'd say that she's proud of me and that she loves me, and good luck.
Good luck to you, Mark.
Thank you.
Matt?
Brett, I'm alongside Kate Hunter, who is the Churchill Downs Japan representative. Kate, we know Japan has been a dominant force on the international stage. The Kentucky Derby has proven elusive over the past few years. Why is there confidence behind Danone Bourbon and Wonder Dean this year?
Well, over the past 5 years, Japan's really caught on to Derby fever, and so they keep sending their best horses. And I think the way Wonder Dean performed in the UAE Derby shows he's a really good horse, and the way Danone Bourbon's been performing in Japan shows he's a wonderful horse. So we were bringing our best and hoping for the best.
Good luck, Kate.
Thanks so much.
Donna.
I'm walking over with the trainer, John Ennis, who has number 21, Great White. He is named Great White because he's massive. The average thoroughbred weighs about 1,100 pounds and is about 16 hands tall. There's 4 inches in every hand. This horse weighs 1,365 some odd pounds. He's 17 hands, 2.5 inches. John, did he get his name because of how massive he is?
Well, it was an apt name, I thought. Three Chimneys and Gonzala named him at the farm, so when I named him Grey White, I said, well, that's fitting.
He definitely is an international horse. You're from Ireland. He's a Kentucky bred. Your jockey is from France. What an international competition this is, right? Horse racing.
Wouldn't that be something if we could run a nice race here with a French jockey, an Irish trainer, and Kentucky bred?
He's a young horse coming into the form right at the right time?
Yeah, he is. He's improving the whole time. He's trained really good over here all week. He's fresh and well. Physically looks great. So we're excited for a good trip.
Thanks, John. Let's go to Ahmed.
All right, Donna, we got the jockey of the 8 and so happy, Mike Smith. Mike, we've told the story of Mark Glatt, the unexpected passing of his wife. He was emotional on the walkover. What does it mean for you to ride his horse in the Derby?
Well, it means a lot. They're friends of mine, you know. First and foremost, I've known Nudina for quite a while, and man, just to win this for the Glad family at this time would mean so much. And
it'll be a challenge too, because the father was a champion sprinter of this horse, and so this is a mile and a fourth, a longer distance. How do you get him to get the distance here at the Derby?
You know, he's not built like a sprinter. He's more built like a distance horse. He's already shown he'll get the mile and 8. I don't see a problem with a mile and a quarter. He should get that extra 8. You just want to get away good and give him a fair trip, and if given so, he's not without a big chance.
59 years old, 29th Derby. How are you still doing this?
I don't know, but it's been a long time since 1984. That was my first one.
Here we are, Mike, still going.
Yeah, Mike Smith. One of the many stories, so many great stories represented, emotional stories, people who put their life into this work, people who grew up in the sport, were brought in the sport by their parents. A lot of folks have had a lot of cups of coffee at 4 a.m. in the morning, driving to the barns in the dark where nobody's looking, just to get here. And they enjoyed the walk over. The jockeys are in their picture. We'll get the jocks to the horses and much more as we get closer to post time.
NBC's coverage of the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby is brought to you by Ford, the official horsepower of the Kentucky Derby. By Woodford Reserve, the presenting sponsor of the Kentucky Derby. By Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling home and auto easy. And by Pods. Save up to 25% today with Pods Epic Sale.
This weekend is for the 5 of us. A weekend of 5-star treatment.
Cheers. Say force dress code.
Force dress code. Can't believe who all are actually here. I think I'm still in shock.
Are you doing okay?
Yep, forgot the whipped cream.
She's definitely not okay.
Nope.
This weekend's gonna be a hoot.
Since Matthew died, I don't know who I am.
You know what I heard works for pain?
Velasquez and Javier Castellano riding. Those are my guys.
I've been here many times. I'm so excited. I try to never miss it.
I met my husband here 24 years ago.
Did not.
This is our very first Derby. I think as fun as the racing and the betting on the race is going to be, it's looking at everyone's outfit.
Yeah, first Derby, many Derbies. Met your spouse here, doesn't matter. Some of the celebrities, what they think, some of the athletes too. Cooper DeJean, DeAndre Hopkins, Zay Flowers, teammates with the Ravens last year. Our new teammate at NBC, Sue Bird on our WNBA coverage. Lance Bassett in sync. And Gronk and Camille come up with their picks. So everybody's got their opinion. Whether you know a lot or you don't know a darn thing, it's the beauty of the Kentucky Derby. As we look at the odds, we see the movement just back and forth a little bit. Now it's Commandment and So Happy as the co-favorites, with Renegade sliding back. But those top 5 horses have been 5 to 6 to 1 throughout our coverage, emerging markets, and Next Choice. And Danon Bourbon, the Japanese horse, getting a little bit of interest. As for America's Pick, which is presented by Twin Spires, So Happy, 16% of the folks weighing in there. All right, around the horn for everybody. We only remind you of these picks if they come out right. I'm going to take Chief Wallaby. Let's run it back with Alvarado and Mott like last year. So I'll go with the Chief. Jerry and Randy.
I'm going to go with Further Ado. I think he's tactical. I think he's run the fastest race of any of these horses, and I like him.
I'm confused, but what's new? So I finally landed on Chief Wallaby. But the heck with me, getting to make her final Derby pick for NBC, Donna.
Well, Randy, in a Kentucky Derby that I think is wide open, I'm going to go for history. I am going to be rooting for Golden Tempo because I would like to watch a woman win her first Kentucky Derby. Kidding?
After the Florida Derby, I thought Commandment was the best horse. He's been consistent throughout. He is a real racehorse for Brad Cox. I'm staying with that pick. Commandment will bring Cox his second Derby victory. Nick?
All right, Kenny, I'm going for Further Ado, who I don't think fluked it at Keeneland last time and can do it again. Britt?
I'm going with Emerging Market. I know lightly raced, but incredibly talented, so I think Chad Brown will take the Kentucky Oaks Derby double.
Has anyone gone with the morning line favorite in Renegade so far? I mean, give me Renegade.
Wow.
All right,
I'll take.
Make us all sound like idiots. I get it.
Yeah, all right. So, Dylan, who do you have?
Well, I'm going to go with America's Pick. I want to pick So Happy because I am so happy
to once again be covering the Kentucky Derby with this incredible team. Xana?
I thoroughly agree, but I'm going to say so happy also because if he wins, Mike Smith will be the oldest jockey to ever win the Derby, proving things just get better with age. Rebecca?
I'm going to go with Chief Wallaby. It was the first name that popped off the list for me, and I feel like, John, if you don't go for that first one, you might live to regret it. You?
And Rebecca, I'm matching Dylan and Xana. This was Mark and Dina's their dream, and tonight that dream takes another notch up. So happy, the Kentucky Derby champion, Edzo.
All right, Johnny, the handicappers are here, and I guess I go first.
You have at it.
I'm going to go emerging market.
Okay.
I've always felt, if I look at a field like this and feel that can go 6 or 7 deep, I'm going to look for the pure value, and it's going to be Chad Brown, the ultimate Oaks Derby double, winning the Kentucky Oaks for the fillies today for the boys here.
Last night, Chad Brown wins with Always a Runner. She had 2 starts coming into the Oaks. Today, emerging market, 2 starts coming into the Derby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going with the emerging market.
Well, I better say something different here. So how about this? We talked about the horses who've been winning lately coming in under the radar. I like Bob Baffert's horse Potente, who was second in the Santa Anita Derby, but was forced onto the lead in that race, tired out. I don't think that's his style. I think he gets to run off the pace today, gets to make that first move. Baffert at like 20-1. Give that to me today, Mike.
Unofficial record for our group. 19 horses, 8 different picks amongst our announcers. That means the other 11 load up on those folks, right? One final reminder, you can bet with the Twin Spires app where you can earn your bet back if your horse finishes second or third every eligible race here at Churchill, including the big one, the one coming up, the Derby. It's all available to all Twin Spires players. All you have to do is opt in. We'll meet all 19 jockeys in Derby 152 as we close in about a half hour of post time at Churchill Downs.
Today's aerial coverage is brought to you by Shady Rays.
Look at Amy, working hard now so that future Amy can buy her very own boat.
Wait, sorry, the boat's great, but am I wearing culottes?
Oh, you love your culottes.
It's lemonade o'clock. What did I just say? Cheers o'clock. Ew.
Here's to protecting your boat and RV 24/7 as part of your home and auto bundle.
So I, like, hang out with my insurance guy?
Oh, yeah. You two have a podcast and everything.
Awesome.
Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. A spectacle for the senses.
Aaron can coax a tulip from the ground weeks before anyone else. But selling one bucket at a time won't grow the business. So Aaron asks Copilot in Microsoft Outlook if any opportunities have slipped through the cracks. Copilot finds an email from an old customer opening a new joint nearby. And Aaron sees her chance.
Here you go. Thank you so much.
Aaron grows the flowers. Copilot helps find the opportunities.
So, Natalie, what do you think about this 6-horse?
Horse, please show waiting. Well, her trainer's got a solid record. I'd put my money on her.
Son of a...
Bet like an expert with Twin Spires. Get your bet back if your horse finishes second or third in eligible races.
With Chewy, pets get their care taken care of. With everything to be their healthiest, happiest selves. Quality meds, supplements, and nutrition at great prices. For help with health, for life with pets, there's Chewy.
I suddenly realized that I was no longer driving it conscious, and I was in a different dimension. Just going, and I realized I was well beyond my conscious understanding. Just going.
With over 200 flavor notes to discover, every sip of Woodford Reserve bourbon is a spectacle for the senses.
Fly over that famous sign. Derby 152 between the Twin Spires. That paddock on the other side, awaiting the jockeys to meet up with the horses. Before this Derby, why don't we take this deeper dive into the jocks for Derby number 152. We talked about 59-year-old Mike Smith, oldest to ever ride the Derby. His first was in 1984. It's only 15 years before Atsuya Nishimura was born. Danon, bourbon rider, he is one of the 7 jockeys, that's over a third of the field, making their Kentucky Derby debut today. The Hall of Famer Johnny Velazquez looking for his 4th Derby win. It would move him into a tie for 3rd all-time. All the 19 jockeys, they come from 8 countries and territories, more than half the field representing Puerto Rico or the United States. They leave that jocks room that we showed you inside before, make their way to the paddock, and we meet them all with today's jockeys lineup, brought to you by Allstate.
Irad Ortiz, Renegade.
Manny Franco, Albos. Hector Aizaberrios, Intrávido.
Martín García, Lemostes.
Luis Sainz, Commandment.
Atsuya Nishimura, Danon Bourbon.
Mike Smith, So Happy. Ryusei Sakai, Wanda Dean.
Jaime Torres,
Incredible.
Junior Alvarado, Chief Wallaby.
Juan Hernández, Potente.
Flavian Pratt, Emerging Market.
Edwin Maldonado, Pavlovian.
Brian Hernandez, 6 Speed.
John Velasquez, Further Ado. Jose Ortiz, Golden Tempo.
Alexia Shaw, Great White.
Tyler Gaffleon, Oselli. Christian Torres, Robusta.
And those last 3, the also eligibles after the draw was held a week ago, and with scratches earlier in the week, horses 21, 22, and 23 drew into the field. We had a field of 20. We went to sleep last night. The Puma, the 9, scratched. So now we're down to a field of 19, as you see the odds laying out accordingly. And just that jockeying back and forth, 6-1, 5-1 with Renegade. Further ado, Chief Wallabies come back a notch. Emerging Market staying there. Potente, maybe a little Baffert interest, bumping up to 17-1. And Great White, the great big horse, getting a great deal more attention than the morning line odds would have shown you. They go 1.25 miles. The track is fast. It has been throughout the week after some rain midweek, although it's been overcast and very cool today. And there's that Secretariat number. Amazing mark. Still the record from back in 1973. Paddock scene, Nick Luck. Nobody takes us around better. Go ahead, pal.
Mike Tirico. Good horse husbandry runs in families. Here's Riley Mott, first Derby, and this is Incredible. You just see the groom just reassuring Incredible and trying to keep him calm. This horse has just gone right up on his hind legs and was getting quite upset, but they've calmed him now. Now he's under attack. If we just move to the right, we'll pick up Riley's dad, Bill. Glasses there on the left of the horse. This is Chief Wallaby, much more relaxed, though for a second or two, Incredible set him off. Now, I want you to take a look at the least experienced horse in the field. You wouldn't realise it. He's about the most relaxed. He's as quiet as a lamb. He's Emerging Market. He's quite an extraordinary horse. To have such a good temperament on a day like this, having only run twice in his life, be the least experienced horse in over 100 years to win this race. And his rider, Flavian Pratt, is about to get the leg up from trainer Chad Brown. Chad is seeking his first victory in this race, having won the Kentucky Oaks last night, and it was his first Kentucky Oaks as well. Flavian, how are you feeling?
Good.
And how are you going to play this? I'm amazed how relaxed this horse is, given he's only had 2 runs.
Yeah, he has a very good mind.
And how long has it been in your mind that he was going to be your Derby ride?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
For some time. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's Flavian Pratt. There's Chad Brown. His Derby mount is Emerging Market. Looks incredibly calm. I want to cover a bit more ground here because I want to show you the biggest horse in the field, and it'll take me a little while to do so. He is Great White. He drew into the field late. I have never seen a bigger horse running in a Kentucky Derby. Just get a look at him if we can, Mike. He's right here. Absolutely humongous animal. He stands at 17.3 hands. There's 4 hands to an inch. You can do the maths, but I'd say he's at least 4 inches bigger at the wither than any other horse in this field. John Ennis, his trainer, about to do the preparations, and he hasn't really turned a hair either. He is a horse who We described as a bit of a gentle giant, but will he have the tactical pace today? Doug O'Neill has won this race twice before, and he's got 2 runners in the race. He's got Pavlovian and this horse, Robusta. Doug, how are you feeling?
I feel so good, but just grateful to be here, and both horses are doing really well.
All right, this is Christian Torres, your jockey. Right, 11th hour, you got the ride on this horse. Give your instructions to Christian for us and for just a couple of people who might be watching.
Like merging on the freeway, right, Christian? Like merging on the freeway, baby. So good, clean break, and then you got to gradually get over.
All right, Christian, can you manage that merge into the freeway from the outside gate?
Oh, yeah, I watched his replay, and he's pretty sharp out of there, so I think we're going to have to
First time Derby, first time win. It's like going to Vegas the first time. We're winning, baby. Let's go.
All right.
Thank you.
Here we
Good
go.
luck.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
All right, Mike, it's all yours.
Great stuff, Nick. I love Doug O'Neill's energy. He had a winner in 12, and I'll have another in 2016 in Nyquist. Maybe another one coming up. Who knows? Getting closer here at the Derby.
What would it mean to win the Derby again? At this stage of my career, it would mean a whole lot.
It'd be incredible to come back in and win another Derby.
I will be dreaming about this race my whole life. It will be a dream come true.
Seeing 150,000 people definitely make you feel alive.
This is the pinnacle. This is the Kentucky Derby.
Racing fans, please turn your attention to the paddock where Hall of Fame jockey Pat Day will lead us in Riders Up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the city of Louisville, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and sports fans from around the world have been waiting for this moment. Put your riders up!
And any of the trainers who gave a leg up to Pat Day often had to meet him in the winner's circle after that. All-time leading winner, Churchill Downs history, won the Derby 34 years ago today, back in 1992. 9-time Triple Crown winner and the Hall of Famer. Guys, as we watch Jerry this moment, always with the jockeys too. You've gotten those instructions, and now it's you and the horse, and off you go.
You're just waiting to go out of that tunnel onto the track and hear my old Kentucky home, Mike. Even in my last and 17th Derby, it gave me chills right down my spine.
That'll be everyone from all those making their debut to Mike Smith, who we've talked about, and all of his experience. Anything you guys noticed in the walkover as we were watching the horses come by?
Yeah, it didn't surprise me. Litmus test for Baffert. He was more kind of on the engine than most of the horses in here. A funny thing was Robusta, which I think is going to be a speed horse. He was as calm as could be. He was cool as a cucumber.
That's the last horse who came in the field, 23.
I noticed Great White was very big.
Yeah. I mean, from a distance, it's noticeable. On camera, it's noticeable, right? It's quite something, yeah. I love the way they've redesigned this paddock area, that Coliseum feel for the fans at the different levels as they come out to get a look at the horses. Jockeys a leg up, a parade around. You get a look at Renegade there, Irad Ortiz. We've documented the story 9 times in the Kentucky Derby, never in the money, as the rest of the horses get set to make their way for that walk that Jerry talked about just a moment ago. 6-speed Further Ado getting a lot of interest as well. Brad Cox a leg up to Johnny V. It's time now for the distinctive sound of the day. It's the call to post from longtime Churchill Downs bugler Steve Buttleman.
Racing fans, the management, staff, and horsemen of Churchill Downs proudly present the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby, presented by Woodford Reserve. Please rise as the University of Louisville Cardinal Marching Band and Cardinal Singers perform My Old Kentucky Home.
Proud people, beautiful state, Commonwealth of Kentucky, the bluegrass state, the horse farms, the bourbon, so much to it. And this day, it takes center stage. Here's the post parade for the 152nd Kentucky Derby. The morning line favorite, the One Renegade, trying to be the first Derby winner from that inside post in 40 years. The owner, Mike Rapoli, Hall of Fame trainer Todd Pletcher going for his third. Outstanding Irad Ortiz looks for his first Derby. The 2 is Albus, won the Wood Memorial last month in New York, won his last 2 starts. Trainer Riley Mott, the son of Hall of Famer Bill. Randy, the 3 is Intrepido.
Intrepido, a badly beaten 4th in the Santa Anita Derby in his last start, is jockey Hector Barrios making his Derby debut. Big long shot.
Jerry, the 4 is Litmus Test.
He's coming off the worst race of his career, beating 12 lengths, finishing 7th in the Arkansas Derby, but Bob Baffert adds blinkers and puts Martin Garcia on, so I expect him very close early.
Right to party, the 5 Scratch. The 6 is Commandment, come from behind winner of the Florida Derby, won his last 4 starts. First to the Brad Cox, 2 horses in the field. Luis Saez looking for win 1 in Derby 13. Danon Bourbon is number 7.
A Japanese horse won impressively on the undercard. Could it happen again in the Kentucky Derby? Looking for their first Derby win, the Japanese.
Share the story of Mark Glatt, the trainer of number 8. So happy making his Derby debut. Mike Smith's record 29th Derby at age 59, trying to become the oldest winner of this race. The fans love him. The 9, the Puma, Scratch. Jerry, the 10 is Wonder Deep.
Yeah, he's a Japanese import by way of the Middle East. He won the UAE Derby in his last start. Trainer Daisuke Takayanaga was 5th in the 2024 Derby, while his jockey Rai Sukai was 3rd.
Incredible. 11, trainer Riley Mott's second horse. 3 wins, including 2 here at Churchill Downs as a 2-year-old. Ami Torres makes his Derby debut. Chief Wallaby's the 12, Riley's dad Bill Mott. Jockey Junior Alvarado trying to go back-to-back. They did it in the Derby last year. Chief Wallaby 3rd in the Florida Derby in the money, all 3 starts. Silent Tactic, the 13 scratched earlier in the week. Potente is 14, Randy.
The most expensive horse in the field, $2.4 million. Second in the Santa Anita Derby for Baffert. Incidentally, Baffert's first 2 Derby winners. Second in the Santa Anita Derby.
Jerry, the 15, Emerging Market.
Jockey Flavian Pratt chooses this horse over Commandment for trainer Chad Brown. It's been over 140 years since a horse with this little experience has won the Kentucky Derby.
Pavlovian is 16. The owner, Paul Redmond, the trainer, Doug O'Neill. They've combined for 2 Derby wins, going for a 3rd. Most experienced horse in the field, 10 starts and a pair of wins. 17, 6 speed. Going to give you early speed. Horse qualified on the international path to the Derby. All 5 starts in Dubai, including a 2nd in the UAE Derby. 18, Randy, Further Ado.
The largest margin of victory in a prep race. Won the Bluegrass by 11 lengths, but had to find a new jockey. Irad Ortiz out, John Velasquez in.
19, Jerry, Golden Tempo.
3rd behind Emerging Market and Pavlovian in the Louisiana Derby. Deep closer, looking for him to come late.
Full Effort Scratch. That was the 20. The 21 in, the big one. Great White. These 3 horses drawing in. He was 5th in the Bluegrass in his last race. That size has made a sizable impact on this crowd. Ocelli is 22, drew into the field Thursday. 6 starts, no wins. Trying to become the first maiden to win the Derby in 93 years. And Robusta, number 23. Second horse trained by Doug O'Neill. Lone win came in his maiden race in January. Finished last in the Santa Anita Derby last time out. And those are the 19 horses for the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby. Who will be the human who comes away with the victory in this one? 59-year-old Mike Smith on So Happy. Can he be the oldest to win the Derby? Fellow Hall of Famer Johnny B. John Velasquez aboard Further Ado in search of Derby win number 4. Junior Alvarado, defending champ, trying to go back-to-back with the 12. Chief Wallaby, they may have to be the best jockey in America, Irad Ortiz Jr. and Renegade. The 152nd Kentucky Derby's next.
Every year, Don would buy a ticket to the Kentucky Derby and walk inside holding a camera. Don figured if he looked like a cameraman, he could get into pretty much any place at Churchill Downs he wanted. And he was right. For 30 years, he filmed all over these hallowed grounds, slipping past security, rubbing elbows with the rich and famous. But his ultimate goal, always, was sneaking into the holiest place of all. A tiny patch of grass lined by a horseshoe of flowers that's only opened one day a year. The Kentucky Derby Winner's Circle. For more than a century and a half, Millionaires and billionaires, titans, royals, celebrities, you name it. All of them have tried everything you could think of to get into this small loop of Earth.
The hardest thing I ever did in my life.
I couldn't be happier.
Knowing it's the one place here
Winning isn't everything.
you can't buy your way into.
It's the whole thing.
That's why Don Clier found a way inside. Not just to get a look, but to get a taste of what it's like to be on the very top of the world. 152nd Kentucky Derby is moments away.
And who will earn their way into that space, the Derby Winners Circle this year? Don passed in 2018, but his spirit lives on as we think of the lengths people go to try to make it on this day, Derby number 152. You settle in on the 19 horses as the 150,000 on hand get to their spot that they have staked out all day to make sure they see the biggest horse race in America. As the horses have moved past that starting gate, now will start circling back to load, and the tension builds and the excitement. We'll look at the latest odds. We'll keep them up there so you can watch them as they change and evolve. And let's take you through some of these horses. Randy, we'll begin with the 6th, Commandment. Brad Cox, the trainer. Luis Saez, the job.
I looked up, he was the favorite. I looked back, he's not the favorite. I mean, the public is very confused as well right now, but Commandment has won 4 consecutive races, the only horse in the field to win 4. You watch him in the mornings, he won't impress you. But Brad Cox, his trainer right there, has said he puts his game face on in the afternoons. This horse just knows how to win. And there's Luis Saez, the 3rd rider to be on Commandment in his last 3 starts.
What I love about these shots of the trainers, the owners, the jockeys, you know they're a few minutes away from potentially a life-changing moment, and they wear it on their face. The 8's so happy. We talk about life-changing. It happened, and we showed the story with the trainer, Mark Glatt. Now his opportunity to win the Derby.
It'd be so terrific for him for this week, and for Mike Smith becoming the oldest jockey if he were to win the Kentucky Derby. It's all about relaxing early for this horse. The less contact he receives early in the race, no matter where he's positioned, the more likely he is to relax and enhances his chances to win.
Great point. The start of this is unlike any other race that you see with the 19 horses. The 1, Randy, Renegade.
He was the program favorite. Right now he's the co-second choice at 6-1. The Arkansas Derby winner, wearing the silks, the co-owner, Mike Rapole, who's had so much bad luck in this race. Heck, he's had problems getting his best horses into the starting gate. Uncle Mo scratched. Forte scratched. Last year, Grande scratched. Now he gets one to the post. Renegade, though, has that number 1 post position that trainers seem to dread.
Been 40 years since someone won out of the 1 hole. At the moment, currently, Renegade, the co-favorite with the 18, Further Ado.
Yeah, co-favorite. He's never been going a longer distance of ground more than 3 lengths off the lead. I would expect this jockey, John Velasquez, who is a great position rider, to put him up within 5 or 6 lengths. Any closer than that, I think the only way this horse doesn't get maximum ability today is if he's too close to a hot pace early. So John Velasquez, I know he's done this a million times. He's won 3 Derbies. I think he's going to be very aware of that.
Guys, you have to go back to 1973, the last time we had a repeat visit to the Derby Winners Circle, going back-to-back in Derbies with a trainer and a jockey combo. Junior Alvarado and Bill Mott have the chance to do that with Chief Wallaby, the 12. Currently at 7-1, the 5th choice.
Right, after Sovereignty last year. And look, Chief Wallaby was 3rd in the Florida Derby. Commandment beat him, but Commandment beat him by only a nose and a half length. And the blinkers that you might get a peek at there that Chief Wallaby is wearing, he's wearing them for the very first time. Mott put them on him because he thought the horse needed a little extra focus.
Emerging market has become an emerging story with Chad Brown because of 2 races, 2 wins. We saw that last night in the Kentucky Oaks with a Chad Brown conditioned horse. That's the same storyline for the 15.
2 components to this for horses, Mike. They've got to be physically able and talented enough to do that, and also mentally enough prepared to take this 150,000 people screaming and yelling, the massive amount of horses in this race. They've never run with this many horses before, but Emerging Market seems to me like a horse that can handle all this. But again, the less bumping that he has to go through, the more similar it is to his other races.
So, Mike, in one change of the odds board, So Happy just went from the favorite to the 4th choice.
Look at the same thing. That's how tight they are between 5-1 and 6-1. You mentioned Mike Repole, so invested in this sport. He's one of its biggest names. Can he win the sport's biggest race? Last year, that's what Bill Mott did as a trainer. Can he go back-to-back? Chief Wallaby is his horse. And if his horse doesn't win, he may still feel great about what happens on this day, because his son, 34-year-old Riley Mott, has two that are about to load in the gate. And Mark Glatt, the story of his wife, Gina, who passed away unexpectedly less than 3 months ago. His horse, So Happy, will load into the gate. The horses load two at a time, double load. It takes it to an easier pace as you're loading 19 horses in. They do such a good job here at Churchill in what is now one gate. It used to be 17 and then an auxiliary gate, but it's one gate, so that mitigates the issue with the one just a little bit. 6-speed loaded with a hood on. That is not uncommon for that horse. We were expecting that to happen. There is the 8. So Happy with Mike Smith aboard. The winner of the Santa Anita Derby. That emotional opportunity. Great White, the big horse we saw a moment ago, something cooking, kicked Alex Achard, who was making a Derby debut, the jockey, off the horse, the 34-year-old Frenchman. Donna Brothers down there watching. Donna?
As the horses were loading into the starting gate, he reared up and he just got tipped over, Mike. He just went a little bit too far, and he did end up landing on his side. He's up walking around right now. They're evaluating him, but he did flip over on the racetrack.
Okay, there you see the horse, and there you see exactly what happened, and the horse flipping over. So there are vets there, many vets, to check on the horses in a situation like this.
Oh, man, the rider's very lucky he didn't roll over on him. All 1,465 pounds of him. I'm sure the horse is shook a little bit, but it didn't appear like he thumped his head on anything, mostly.
But the veterinarians are so careful nowadays with horse safety, and as you can see, they're working on the girth right now to see if they're just tightening it or they're going to take off the saddle. Let's see.
And I saw Dr. Will Farmer, who's the Churchill Downs Equine Medical Director. He had a...
He's
yes.
out.
Yes, they are going to scratch him. He had the radio out there, and the vets are there watching in situations like that for that reason. So Great White is a late scratch.
Imagine the disappointment for Achard.
Alex Achard, the 34-year-old, now they'll back all the horses out because it's a long time to sit in there, and that just lengthens the process.
Yeah, because these riders want the horses to break well, Mike, so they do a lot of their warm-up in the last minute, so they're as warm as they can possibly be before they go in there without going overboard. So now they're going to settle down, and for some of them it might be fine. Others, maybe not.
They'll remove Great White from the track, get him out of the way, and start the reloading process. There you see.
There is that horse heading back. And once again, we say it all the time, and you heard it in the disappointment for Alex Achard, the 34-year-old Frenchman, about to make his Kentucky Derby debut, not raised in this sport. The parents of Achard were involved in show jumping in France, and he's transitioned to becoming a successful jockey, and his Derby debut denied because of Great White acting up before loading in the gate. We say this all the time, and you heard it in the walkover interviews. You always wonder how they're going to react, because the horses never go this distance, they never run in a field this big, and they never, ever run in front of this many people.
And never will again.
Unless they're on the Derby card next year as a 4-year-old,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. Yeah. On the undercard. Right.
And so, Jerry, you have to be very careful and patient and try to understand that jockey-horse relationship that we talked about before, the humans and the horses, so important at a time like this.
It's a fine line, Mike. You want them ready. When they walk into that starting gate, you want to warm them up to the point to where they're ready to run when the gates open, but you don't want them too nervous because you never know what's going to set a horse off. You could be in the gate and another horse act up and set your horse off.
And, Mike, when a horse flips like that and lands as hard as he did, there's really no time to do a proper veterinary examination, so they err on the side of caution and take him out.
So now it is a field of 18 to run in the Kentucky Derby. And those odds, Randy, at the moment have 3 co-favorites in Renegade, So Happy, and Further Ado. There you see them. They take Great White to the bottom, scratched. Denon Bourbon and Potente are the 2 that were right before Great White. So now they'll go back through the process, double loading, some of the horses needing 2 to handle and get in there and push them from the back with locked arms. Now they seem to be loading pretty smoothly. We'll keep a close eye as 6-speed. Perhaps some of the early speed in this race loads in as well. And Further Ado currently sitting this co-favorite 5-1 odds. There you go, the locked arms to get him in there. 7 more horses to load. As the tension and the energy build. And Golden Tempo balks for a moment before being assisted into the starting gate. Okay, they are almost set. So let's go for the call of the 152nd Kentucky Derby to the great Larry Collmus.
All right, thank you, Mike. And we're just about set. Last few, Japan's Wonder Dean moving into the starting gate, along with Oselli, who's never won a race in his life. Incredible moves into line, and that will lead Long Shot Robusta to the outside stall. Robusta steps forward and in, all in line and ready for the start. They're off in the Kentucky Derby. Renegade getting bunched about on the inside. He did get in a little bit of traffic. Wonder Dean goes out to the front with 6 speed on the outside. And Denon Bourbon is up close with So Happy as well. So it's these 4 to set the pace. Then Emerging Market, Pavlovian to the outside, Potente and Litmus Test along the rail. Break of 2 to Further Ado's in between Chief Wallaby and Robusta. 3 to Intrepido and Incredible. And then Commandment, who finds himself about 10 lengths off the lead. Then it's a big gap back to Renegade, who was in a little bit of traffic there on that first turn. Oselli is next. And then come the 2 trailers, Albus and late running Golden Tempo. So on to the backstretch they go here in the Kentucky Derby. 6 speed as expected, setting the pace of 46.44. Opening half mile here. The lead is 2 lengths. So Happy and Japan's Denon Bourbon heads apart. Second and third, Wonder Dean is 4th in behind them. Litmus Test is 5th along the rail. Then Emerging Market, Pavlovian. Further Ado is in behind them. Further Ado about 7 lengths behind under John Velasquez. And then Potente down to the inside and Chief Wallaby. Commandment has 7 to make up. He's outside of Intrepido. Then Incredible. Renegade is in behind that group. He's on the rail. He's got 10 lengths to make up. As 6 speed and Denon Bourbon are 1-2 on the far turn. Mike Smith and So Happy are there to their outside. 2.5 back. And then down toward the inside comes Emerging Market as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Further Ado is getting going on the far outside with Commandment. They're both putting in their runs as they arrive into the final furlong. Oselli is also gaining ground on the far outside as they come to the last 16th of a mile. Denon Bourbon in front. Oselli a huge long shot. Renegade and Golden Tempo are closing 2. Here's Golden Tempo! Golden Tempo and Cherie DeVaux make history in the Kentucky Derby over Renegade in a final time of 2:02.27 seconds.
The first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. 44-year-old Cherie DeVaux conditioning Golden Tempo with a tremendous run down the stretch to win the Derby. The second female trainer to win a Triple Crown race. Jenna Antonucci won the Belmont 3 years ago. And for all the talk of Irad Ortiz trying to win his first Kentucky Derby, it is brother Jose who wins his first Derby in his 12th try.
With Irad right behind him. 1-2 for the Ortiz brothers.
Golden Tempo was so far last down the backside, he couldn't count that far. Renegade got on a little bumping early in the race, but I thought he had every chance to win. I didn't think he got shoveled back too far. What an exciting race.
And Renegade from way, way back to come second, and Oselli out of nowhere, 70-1 shot, finishing 3rd.
The maiden had never won a race before. It looked for a second.
Yes,
it was going to be Oselli. And then suddenly on the far outside, you see Renegade, then Golden Tempo. Wow.
Jaime Torres, the jockey of Incredible, coming by to give Jose Ortiz praise.
This horse was in a different time zone early in the race, which is the way he likes to run.
Well, and the pace set up for him. It was fast early with 6 speed going out. They went 22 and change the first quarter, which is, but there he is.
Oh my gosh.
He's already starting to move now down the backside. He was 5 or 6 behind the last horse. Great ground-saving trip by Jose Ortiz. Sometimes when you're that far back, Mike, that everybody makes their decision already, and you're left a lot of open lanes. Now he'll shift him out as he knows he's going to run into trouble if he doesn't, and he takes aim on his brother. And what a tremendous kick by Golden Tempo.
That's a lot of ground to make up in the stretch of the Kentucky Derby. He's 7 or 8 lengths back at the top of the stretch still.
The numbers on how far he ran are going to be amazing, right? Wow. And this is the pedigree of this horse. He has been dead last or second to last in almost every race he's run, but made a charge like this at a moment like this. A historic moment, Nick Luck.
Truly, Mike. And Cherie DeVaux is with nephew Maverick, daughter Reagan, husband David, sister Adrian, and for you, family is everything. This race has been everything. You're the first woman to train the winner of a Kentucky Derby winner. Breathe it in and try and tell me how it feels.
I don't even have any words right now. I just can't. Just so happy for Golden Tempo. Jose did a wonderful job, masterful job at getting him there. He's so far out of it, and he has had so much faith in this horse. And I want to say thank you to the team of St. Elias and Phipps Stable for giving me the opportunity to be here.
This is a great historic ownership stable who have so much history in this race. You're breaking history today. What does that mean to you?
I honestly don't know. I'm glad that I could be a representative of all women everywhere, that we can do anything we set our minds to.
Hear, hear. And you've been a fantastic tribune for that these last few years. When you were watching the early stages of the race, Cherie, he was dead last. What was going through your mind?
I was actually more focused on the pace that was in front of him. There was plenty in front. And I was just hoping Jose would work a trip out when they all started coming back to him at the top of the stretch.
I've just got to ask, Reagan, how does it feel to see Mum do this?
Amazing. It's truly an honor. A lot of tears, you can't tell. Especially being from Kentucky, this is truly an honor. It's just really cool to watch, and I'm really proud of you. I really am. Yeah.
Family DeVaux, this horse has done you proud, and vice versa. Well done, well done. Donna.
Jose Ortiz is saluting the crowd that is cheering him right now. Jose, we just heard from Cherie DeVaux, her first Kentucky Derby win, the first woman to win the Kentucky Derby, but this has been your lifelong dream and your lifelong mission. What's it mean to you to get here for your first Derby win?
It's a dream come true. This is the biggest race in the world for me, and I'm just blessed that I get to ride it almost every year, but get to win it is just special. And to have my mom and my dad here today is very special. I just wish my grandpa was here, but I know looking from heaven. Just very happy that I get my goal, my life dream goal achieved, and you know it's just amazing experience. I can't wait to see my family and celebrate.
Jose, I can see it means a lot to you as the tears stream down your face. Did you ever imagine that when you would get your first Kentucky Derby win, it would come down to a head-and-head battle between you and your brother, Irad?
Not really. I mean, I want him to win the Derby, of course. I know it's his dream as well, but you know, it happened that way. I think he should be happy. His horse ran a very good race. He's a very nice horse. But, you know...
But it's your day today.
It was my year, and today's my day, and, you know, just Golden Tempo's day, and I'm happy for Cherie, for the ownership, and to win a Derby on Phipps color, it makes it special. You know, it's such a legendary silks.
Jose, not just your day. You won the Kentucky Oaks yesterday, too. What does it mean to you to get that Oaks Kentucky Derby double? You already forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, to get the double is very hard, and they were joking inside the room today that 10 guys have done it. It's not impossible. I mean, just very happy, very happy.
Jose, last question. When you were growing up in Puerto Rico, you looked up to Johnny Velasquez, a legendary jockey, Hall of Fame jockey. What do you want to say to the kids in Puerto Rico who are watching you today, dreaming of being a jockey?
It's a great question, Donna. Just to have good attitude, try to learn English, and try to learn every day more. It takes time. I've been here 11 years. This is my 11th year, and thankfully.
Hey! You're leaving out your incredible work ethic.
Yeah, it takes time. You got to work, be responsible, respect people, and I know they got to know that I was sitting there 15 years ago in the same chair they're sitting. So it's not impossible. All dreams come true. They just got to dream, but dream big.
Jose, I'm happy to see this dream come true for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mike.
Donna, thanks for taking us to special places over the last 25 years in this sport. And Donna, of course, her last Derby is the only one of our group to pick Golden Tempo. Friday of Kentucky Derby weekend is they run the Kentucky Oaks. And we say that's Ladies' Day. Well, Saturday at the 152nd Derby, Ladies' Day as well, as Cherie DeVaux makes history as the trainer of Golden Tempo, the winner to join the list of some of the best horses of all time. There's a new Kentucky Derby champion, and this was a championship effort from the very back, covering a ton of ground to chase down the rest, including one of the favorites, Renegade, who had made a furious charge from way back as well. In the end, it was brother against brother, and Jose got Irad by about a half a length. That becomes the first in the family in his 11th try to win the Kentucky Derby. But in the century and a half of Triple Crown racing, only 2 women have been the trainers for a Kentucky over a Triple Crown winner, and Cherie DeVaux becomes the first Kentucky Derby winning trainer. Vinny Viola, who is the owner of the NHL's Florida Panthers, has a couple of Stanley Cups. He's been a part of the 2017 Derby, always dreaming ownership team, celebrating with their group as well. And bro, way to go. One day I hope that I'm there, but Irad says today it's you, Jose, the first Ortiz to win a Derby. Cherie DeVaux has made history at the 152nd Kentucky Derby. Golden Tempo, the deep closer, comes up with the Kentucky Derby win. Renegade second, Oselli third. There is the order of finish as you see some of the favorites where they ended up. Commandment 6th, So Happy 8th, Chief Wallaby 12th. Further ado, all the way back to 18th. The Garland of Roses will be presented to the winner of the Kentucky Derby when we come back on our way to the NBA playoffs on NBC.
Georgia plans weddings with the precision of a watchmaker. Every detail measured and timed. Surprises aren't her specialty.
Oh boy.
With the venue flooded, Georgia asks Copilot and Word to help rebuild the plan. Copilot makes the changes in minutes. Now Georgia's new plan looks like it was the plan all along.
And fireworks?
Georgia runs the show. Copilot helps keep it on track.
Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Experience our most powerful blower that exceeds the power of gas. The industry's most powerful cordless pressure washer and a string trimmer so smart it loads the line with the push of a button. Find an Ego retail.
Predict the future is a hazardous occupation. The only thing we can be sure of is that it will be absolutely fantastic. I'm thinking of the incredible breakthrough, the communications satellite. These things will make possible a world in which we can be in instant contact with each other wherever we may be. When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point.
winner of the Kentucky Derby, third in the Louisiana Derby, but first here in Louisville on this Saturday. Here
Mike, thank you very much as we welcome you to the Winner's Circle. The CEO of Churchill Downs, Bill Carstantian, amongst us, and we will talk to Daisy in just a second, but the Governor, Andy Beshear of Kentucky.
It is a great day in Kentucky where we are winning every day. We've had the best first quarter for economic development in our history. Our average wage for a new job is over $30 an hour, and we exported over $50 billion of Kentucky products worldwide. But it's also a great day for Golden Tempo. Jockey Jose Ortiz, trainer Cherie DeVoe, the first female trainer to ever win the Kentucky Derby, and owners Phipps Stable and St. Elias Stable. So to all of them, congratulations on this big win. You just won the Kentucky Derby. Congratulations.
Daisy Phipps-Polito, if I could grab a word. First of all, congratulations. Wow, horse racing has been in your family for more than 100 years. Can you just sum this moment up for us?
No, I can't. I can't sum it up. It is a family sport for us. We have almost our whole family here today, and the Violas, who are our extended family, who we get to campaign the horse with, and it is life-changing. It's life-changing for all of us to win the Kentucky Derby. When you agree to race like we do and to win a race like this, it is the pinnacle of our sport.
Life-changing and game-changing as well for Cherie DeVoe. A line for your trainer, Daisy.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's been great. She's been a good friend of mine for a number of years. She's a phenomenal horsewoman. I trust her and with everything I have, and she has been a pleasure campaigning him with, and it's just been a joy.
Take us into your mind during that race.
I don't think you want
No, we do. We want to go in that mind, Daisy. What was going through it towards the end?
Well, he ran a race exactly kind of how we thought he was going to run. He broke and he kind of ducked back, and Jose did a phenomenal job getting him in a decent position. And we knew he was going to have one run, and he's been doing great, and he's been training great, and he had the run we needed today. So,
let's going to take you over to Ahmed in just 1 second, just very quickly. Are you going to go to the Preakness, Daisy?
I don't know yet. We're going to have to see how he comes out of the race and talk to Cherie and just discuss that.
Okay, absolutely. Ahmed, over to you.
Rebecca, we'll talk to Cherie right now. Congratulations once again. You no doubt have been an inspiration to so many young women who are watching the Kentucky Derby today. But take me back. Who first gave you the belief that you could be here one day?
It was really my husband. In the summer of 2017, I was kind of at a crossroads in life, and he told me that I owed it to myself to at least try. And he had the faith in me, and he saw what I didn't see and believed in me.
Good advice. You're a Kentucky Derby winning trainer. Now, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Mike?
Ahmed, thanks. Great scenes. And the Phipps family's been in horse racing since 1920, so you have that legacy and a glass ceiling breaking moment with Cherie DeVoe as the bookends for the win by Golden Tempo at the Kentucky Derby. NBA playoffs on the way momentarily.
NBC's coverage of the 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby is brought to you by Woodford Reserve, the presenting sponsor of the Kentucky Derby. By Chase Sapphire. Upgrade your travel and dining experiences with Chase Sapphire. By Allstate. You're in good hands. And by Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.